Yeah. Yeah, I will not be playing this season. I will not be. We're going to land in the middle of nowhere. We're going to land in the middle of nowhere. We're going to loot up. We're going to find a vehicle. We're going to not attack anyone. We're going to gas the vehicle. Make sure that it's got its bulletproof tires. Make sure we got the cow catcher on it and a mounted turret. And then we're going to play like the biggest losers in the world. Because this season is absolute dog water.
Right? He sees his car EMP'd and his brain tells him to hop in it. This guy has zero clue what he's doing. EMPs are supposed to stop the turret. That's not real.
You guys have never fumbled this hard. I think the last time Epic fumbled this hard was Chapter 1, Season 10 with the mechs.
Yeah, sick dude. Out of nowhere, RKO by a car.
And then Chapter 2, Season 1.
What the?
With the only new item that they added into the game was a harpoon for over 140 days. They've somehow topped it, making a complete game mode unplayable.
It's no secret that Chapter 5 Season 3 is arguably one of the most controversial seasons of all time, and it isn't even a debate. This season has literally split the community in half. Most casuals completely adore the season, while competitive players absolutely hate it.
Good morning, guys. I'll get to the point right away. I'm retiring for good.
I have my own opinions on it, and I want to go over those. I think this season is fun, but I think it is also a lesson to be learned by both Epic and the community. With the release of Season 4 being just 2 weeks away, I think it's time that I collect my thoughts and say what I think. Now this video will be a bit different than my usual retrospective videos. Usually I go over everything that happened over the course of the season, expressing my thoughts and concerns, and then telling you what I personally think. I will still be giving my opinion, but because of how different this season was, I also want to look at others' thoughts, explain why so many people hate it, and why some people loved it. Then, I want to say what I think Epic should have and could have done to solve this issue to please both sides. I won't waste any more of your time, so I might as well just get into it. When it comes to the theme of the season, I think they cooked insanely hard. A Wasteland Mad Max type theme was long overdue, and I'm surprised it took this long. I always find theme transitioning to be interesting in Fortnite. We went from a Greek season to a literal wasteland, and they actually made it work. The list of things they could do with a wasteland theme is pretty long actually, and I really do like it. When coming to the Battle Pass, it's kinda just alright. Yeah, it fits the theme really well, but it doesn't appeal to me. There are some exceptions such as Megalodon, Magneto, and Bright Raider, but overall I think this Battle Pass is just okay. The Machinist is decent, Rust and Scar are insanely mid, Peabody and the Power Armor are not my kind of skins. There are some really good cosmetics other than skins, which I will just show up on the screen. I really enjoy the back blings this season, and the gliders are also peak. They made another stair glider, but made it 10 times cooler than the old ones, because it actually has a cool walking animation.
Huh? Oh, come on! You gotta admit this is cool!
Now the map changes this season were really good, to be honest, just like Season 2. Of course we get a whole new desert biome in the south, and the POIs are actually really awesome. Brutal Beachhead is really cool, Redline Rig is awesome, and the Nitro Drum is just pure chaos. All the POIs had mythic bosses, along with medallions and weapons, which were all really good. Megalodon's mythic combat shotgun was really good, as well as the mythic fists. Being able to have infinite nitro is honestly really good to have. The mythic combat AR at Redline was really good, and the medallion was just a better version of the Season 1 medallions. The mythic boom bolt was really good too, and paired with the infinite ammo medallion makes you a beast. Unlike Season 2, I think the mod choices for the mythics were pretty decent. They didn't make the weapons feel useless or not worth taking, and overall were not bad. I almost forgot to mention, but around the desert you could also find slurp cacti and some nitro hoops, which are extremely helpful this season. The main attraction of this season is of course the cars and car mods. I'm not gonna lie, at the start the cars were really fun to use. I'm gonna be honest though, they were pretty OP. At the beginning the grenade and turret were crazy good and bulletproof tires were really good. The mythic cars at the boss locations were even better and extremely OP. The mythic cars came with infinite nitro, self-healing, and car mods. Speaking of nitro, this thing was busted. It gives you fast movement speed, infinite sprint, faster shooting, and the ability to bust through walls. The Nitro Fists were this season's new mobility item, but they were also extremely good in combat. They allowed you to dash forward similar to the kinetic blade, but also allowed you to do an uppercut and punch move. I don't know about you, but being able to punch through the air is pretty freaking awesome. The combat shotgun came back, but moddable, and it's actually pretty good now. The boom bolt is really good as well, and I definitely pick it up often. There were a few other items such as the Nuka-Cola and Nitro Splash, both very good utility and healing. Over the course of the season, many new items and weapons got added, and a few were unvaulted. The Boogie Bomb momentarily came back for a few days, but later got replaced by the EMP grenades. Over time, we saw the return of the Combat AR, but now moddable, C4, the Crash Pad Jr., Flintlock, Buried Treasure, Med Mist, and the minigun. We got plenty of new items, which I will explain later in the video. When it comes to updates, I think this season does a really good job. For the first update, we got a whole new Metallica event to fit with this season. This event not only was in BR, but extended to Festival and Rocket Racing as well. We got an entire new Festival season, with a pass including all 4 Metallica members. We got a new Fortnite Festival Battle Stage mode. It's just like normal Festival, but you compete against other people to win. It picks a random song, and everyone has to try to get a good score, or they get eliminated. This is actually a pretty decent mode, and really spiced up Festival. On the BR side of things, we actually got quite a bit of stuff. We got 2 new items, these being the tow hook cannon and the mythic ride the lightning. The tow hook cannon allowed you to grapple onto cars and follow them. It is meant to be more of a car counter or fun item, but can also be pretty good if used in the right hands. But when it comes to the mythic guitar, this thing is busted. It's another new movement item which shoots you into the sky and makes you dash forward. It lets you go a couple hundred meters and allows teammates and enemies to follow you with it. I would argue this is one of the best mobility items added in a while, and was definitely a great addition.
Someone cooked here.
To fit with the update, the loot island also turned into a Metallica themed loot island. Honestly, this update was an amazing start. That hype would immediately carry over into the next update. On June 22nd, update 30.20 released. This update randomly introduced a whole new mode called Reload. Reload is a 40-player mini BR on a brand new map featuring OG locations like Tilted and Retail. The map is entirely based on the OG Chapter 1 map with a few modern twists. The twist is as long as one teammate is alive, your whole squad can instantly and infinitely reboot. If your whole team dies, you lose. This was a nice breath of fresh air from the chaos in normal BR, and offers more simplistic and fun gameplay. On the BR side, we got a brand new heavy sniper, as well as the return of C4. This update was absolutely insane, and this dropped completely out of nowhere. Reload is constantly receiving loot pool updates, and it is extremely fun. Around this time, Epic also went on their month-long summer vacation, so we got a few content updates before they returned. The Metallica event ended, and the mythic guitar got removed.
He was special.
As a replacement, we got the Magneto gloves. Now these are extremely fun and broken. These do so much damage, and paired with the fists enables for some awesome plays. Over the break, we also saw the return of the Flintlock and Crash Pad Jr. The Flintlock is a perfect addition to the loot pool, and it's always nice to see it return every once in a while. When Epic's break ended, we got another big update, this time themed around Pirates of the Caribbean. We got a brand new mini battle pass, POI, and a new item. For the first time since Chapter 3 Season 4, we got a brand new POI midway through the season, called Shipwreck Shallows. This POI is very similar to Lazy Lagoon from Chapter 1, featuring a large pirate ship as well as a small pirate building on the beach. We got a brand new item called the Ship in a Bottle, as well as a few unvaults. The new Ship in a Bottle was very fun to use, and was a very welcome addition. A few pirate themed items got unvaulted, such as the Flintlock, treasure maps, and the cannons, which also came with some really fun glitches. This update was really fun and introduced lots of stuff to keep us interested. A few days later, we got a big update for Rocket Racing, introducing some new tracks and cars. Nothing new was added to BR, but we did get a small content update before the final update, bringing back the Med Mist. A couple weeks later, we got the final update of the season, this time themed around Fall Guys. This update brought a new BR minigame, similar to the Mothership from Chapter 2. At Classy Courts, you could find a floating Fall Guys course, and when entering, you would turn into a Fall Guys beam. Depending on how quickly you complete the course, you will earn some really good loot, sometimes even getting golden weapons, giving you an amazing start to your matches. They also unvaulted the minigun with this update, which is such a fun addition in my opinion. At the time I am making this, we are getting another mini live event similar to Season 1 and 2, this time involving the Pipeline and the Leviathan ship. Speaking of the mini event, the lore has actually been amazing this season, and it has started to pick up a lot. We have tons of voice lines and character development for Hope, Megalodon, and the Wanderer, and I'm glad Charlie Wen is putting so much love into the story. This brings us to the end of Season 3. And now that I have recapped everything, I want to explain why a lot of people hate this season, and what Epic should have done to remedy this. After that, I will give my finalized opinion on this season, and tell you why I think the way I do. Now, the main reason people hate this season is the meta. At the start, a lot of people, mainly competitive players, complained about the car mods, nitro fists, boss cars, etc.
If I was a 5-year-old that still loved cool cars, I would be having the time of my life. But I'm a 32-year-old grown man that likes to shoot things, right, in video games. And now I have to drive a vehicle around and pray that I run into people that have a worse vehicle than me.
At the start, cars were extremely OP, with the turret having quick fire rate and damage, as well as the grenade launcher. Nitro as a whole was really good. A lot of people didn't like how easy it was to break through builds with Nitro and fists, and it made people ultimately despise the gameplay. Competitive players complained so much that Epic decided to nerf the cars and fists, and then casuals became unhappy, saying that competitive players ruined the fun, and that the season is bad. Epic was struggling to please the whole player base, and it left them pressured. If the community is completely split, then I think some solution needs to be made. I think the best thing Epic could do is splitting the loot pools, have public matches have all the fun OP cars, fists, nitro, all that, and then have ranked have nerfed versions, or have them removed to appeal to the competitive scene. And this is exactly what they did, and more. About a month into the season, they changed up the ranked loot pool, removing fists, car mods, and everything the competitive community asked for. They added Reload, a more simplistic mode for people who didn't like the chaotic gameplay of Season 3, but I think they did it a little too late. A lot of players did not like the start of Season 3, and begged Epic to do something. Epic did separate the loot pools, but by the time they did, the community had already made up their mind. First impressions are extremely important. It's like a job interview. If you present yourself well and are willing to listen, the employer is more likely to listen to you and hire you. Because of the season's start, I think a lot of people instantly made up their mind, despite the constant changes and additions. I don't think this is a problem with Epic, but more so the player base. I think the community should look at the whole picture, rather than making up their mind off of the start, but unfortunately, it's just the way it is. Personally, I think this season is great. I enjoy the cars, the fists, the nitro. I enjoyed the chaos and the constant updates and additions. The updates were really good. We got a whole new game mode, tons of content. I think this season was really good, but I can understand if some people don't like it. Some people might not like the car gameplay, and that's okay. I think Epic did a decent job, and separating ranked loot pools was a step in the right direction. I just think that they did it at the wrong time, at the point that people had already made up their mind. I think this season is good, and had meaningful changes, but I think that this season should also be taken as a lesson to both Epic and the community. To Epic, I think they should listen to the community. I'm not saying they haven't been doing that, they have, and they have been good at it, but I think when this much controversy arises, they need to be a lot more vocal and be quick when it comes to these changes. Now, this isn't entirely Epic's fault. The constant pressure by the community probably made them make a quick decision, and that's one place where the community comes in. When it comes to the community, I think they should be more open to change, and be more willing to look at the bigger picture, rather than just first impressions. In my opinion, this season is good, but I can understand why some people don't like the cars and other stuff this season offers. That's alright. I think Epic did a good job changing things up, but I think they should be a little quicker in order to save the season's reputation. What do you guys think? Do you like the season or not, and why do you think that way? What do you think Epic should do to remedy such controversy in the community? Let me know in the comments. That about sums up this video. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. That would be very appreciated. Have a great day.